Now, one person that we have helped on this is, and she's here with us today, is Lupe Sanchez. So, Lupe, are you still on here? Hopefully, you can go ahead and turn your camera on and unmute yourself. And everybody here will give a little introduction. But first off, we want to thank her for being on the call. And Lupe is out in California. She took our training, has done some deals. And so if it's okay with you, Lupe, I want to ask you a few questions about our training. Your camera's not on. I don't know if you want it on or not, but your mic's on.
It says you cannot start your video because the host has disabled it.
Okay, can we send her a request to start? Sorry, guys. Let's see here. Let me try. Okay, you know what? I just made you a co-host, so you should be able to now start your video.
Okay, let's see.
There we go.
Okay. Hello.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So nice to have you on here with you. And again, we'll just ask you a few questions. And obviously others, if you have a few questions for her too, we're not going to spend a whole lot of time and take too much of her time today. But if you have some questions, feel free to ask them here. The team will be monitoring them as we're going. And, maybe we'll throw a couple of those at her afterwards. So first off, why don't you just give us a little background on, I know where it is, but tell others about what your real estate investment background is, or what your experience was when you decided to get into this.
Okay. So originally I didn't have no real estate investment or real estate investment experience. And so that was it. I didn't have any experience, but my brother-in-law had told me about a real estate event in LA back in 2019. And so I ended up going. I went to check it out. My puppy, he just woke up. Hey, baby, hold on. Joey, come on, hold on. Sorry.
Real life and unscripted, no problem.
Sorry. Go. Okay, hold on. All right. So yeah, in 2019, my brother-in-law told me about a real estate event in LA. So I decided to go check it out. And through one of their events, they had a guest speaker who talked about land flipping. That was the first time I had ever heard about land flipping. And so I decided it caught my attention. So I was like, okay, I mean, it doesn't seem that bad. You don't have to deal with houses and things like that, so I decided to check it out, and I decided to sign up for their program and through the guest speakers program. And so I took the program. I went on to their coaching program that they had. I learned basics and also new things as time passed by. And so that was my experience with that. And so I had a few deals close throughout that time. And then after in 2021, early 2021, I heard about the 8-week program, the Land Method program. So I decided to sign up because I didn't feel like I was 100% comfortable to do this on my own. So I still had questions. I still needed help, so I signed up for it. I signed up for the program. The program was great. I think that you guys give out a lot of information and very helpful to understand the process of a land flipping transaction from the beginning to the end. And so I think it was great. I enjoyed it. And also I learned new things. And I was also able to get help from you guys, from you, Jonathan and Genus, either via the Zoom calls that we had or via email. So that went well. It was a very much affordable program, and you get a lot of information that will help you to start the business. And I recommend it. And so, so it's also a numbers game, so you have to have some capital for mailings. You have to put effort and take action, as you go through the program and the different steps. You have to be ready to take action and get things done, because otherwise you won't really have many questions and be able to benefit from the program. So that's my insight in regards to the program with you guys.
Very good. I mean, yeah, you definitely took action. I mean, why don't you tell us a little bit about some of the deals you've done since you've taken the training, or maybe a little bit on how many deals you've done, or average how much money you made or whatever you want, from there. It's
through the time that I was going through the program, I've only had so far about five. I had about 5 deals. The biggest one was for 55K. On average, on those 5 deals is 17,000. So that's been good, but as you mentioned, you have to be consistent. I haven't done that, but I know I need to, but I had to make decisions, either use that money for my house roof or put it on mailings, but sometimes you just have to take decisions, personal decisions, but I know and I understand the consistency that people need to take and be able to mail out letters on a weekly basis. But yeah, it's been kind of slow for me, but I know I can take it to another level. Try to do it between regular job and this. It takes time. It's time consuming, but definitely not impossible.
Sure. And part of that is you're brand new. I mean, it hasn't even been a year yet. And another part of that that's huge that I loved, and sometimes people kind of only focus on the negative, not the positive. You had issues. You were only able to do 5 deals because you had expenses and things come up, but you had the money to be able to do it because of this. And in that process, between a $55,000 deal and your other deals, based on the numbers you gave, you still made about $90,000 in profit in the last 8-9 months. So that's huge. I mean, how many other things can you do that? And like you said, you had to make a decision and you scaled back a little bit because of that. And now you're ready to jump back in, which is fine, but still in a relatively short amount of time, that's still averaging $10,000 a month. And, you're there and say, hey, you know what? I'm ready to roll this now into the next thing. I've overcome these issues and I'm going to be, I'm going to butt my consistency back up. So that's great because you have that motivation to do that. One question here that popped up, and obviously I'm going to change the way it's worded because you didn't come from the housing world, but somebody asked about the average time to close. They said a land deal compared to house deals, but you're not in houses. So what's your average time to close those deals that you did? And we'll go from like when you got the contract to when you sold it.
Mm-hmm. I would say average, maybe a month. Yeah, maybe a month.
Which is good. Yeah, that's
about us including the probate deal.
That's including the probate deal. That one took 3 weeks. Oh, wow. Because attorney Al Niconetti helped out on that one, so he made the whole probate thing work out in 3 weeks, and so that's how long it took for that to close. Well, actually 3 weeks, and then an extra week for everybody else to sign because there was like 7 people that needed to sign the deed. So that's why it took a little bit longer, but about a month.
Yeah. Now, the importance of having good relationships, right? Genus, we hear you, but you're not, I don't know if you want your camera on.
Yeah,
okay,
there's a few questions that came in here. One of them, Lupe, were your deals local or virtual?
Virtual.
Virtual, okay.
Yeah.
Another question we had here, how much did you initially spend on mailers?
Initially, well, I mean, so far, I think I've maybe spent at least 10,000.
Okay. Now, how many?
Which means 10%. Let me just so everybody understands. You're roughly about 10% of your profit is going towards. No, actually, was the 90 grand, was that profit, or does the 10,000 come off of that?
No, that's not deducting anything.
Okay, so you take we'll take off that amount for mailing. So still $80,000 instead. I mean, still that's huge. I mean, you're and you'll get that down as you go along too. Those numbers will start to move around, but that's still phenomenal.
Okay. Now, how many mailers did you start off sending? Jay Sean Patty asked.
Well, it was random. It was between I did start with 500, and then here and there I would do like 1,000. So yeah, 500 and then 1,000 here and there, but I wasn't doing like 500 every week. It was just based on the capital that I had.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
But you weren't consistent. You were mailing when you could. Sometimes 1 mailer a month, sometimes 3 mailers a month. Just whatever you could mail, you were mailing.
Yeah.
And that
Gotcha.
goes back, everybody, right, to what I said at the beginning, and she's living proof that it still works. You focus on what you can do, but you make sure you do it, right? And then you've already admitted in this, I'm looking for ways to keep consistent now that the money's coming in, now that these situations are done with. So that's what we said, you do what you need to do, but you're not complacent. You're definitely not complacent. You've moving on. So that's, living proof, right? That's what we want people to see, that's important.
One more question that we have here is, were you doing a big acreage or just smaller lots?
Smaller lots. Those are the ones that have given me the greater profit. The biggest that I've done is 15 acres in Virginia. That was the biggest one that I did. Acreage, and it wasn't much of a profit, but I whatever I can get, or whatever I can get under contract, I'll try it. But that
Gotcha.
15 acres was the biggest.
Gotcha. And guys, for everybody listening and watching, she's actually in California. So she did that big deal in Virginia, which is on the other side of the country. So that's what we teach virtual. You can do it locally if you'd like, but we don't want you to be limited to just your own backyard, because your money's going to be limited as well.
Yeah,
cool.
Very good.
Yeah.
Just real quick, just for people that are hearing this, and because we've talked about going through our training and working, what would you say is the most valuable thing that you learned? Sorry, Genius, I didn't realize you were leaving. Thanks for jumping in. But so Lupe, what would you say is the most valuable before we let you go here? The most valuable thing that you learned?
Through my experience or the program?
Through a program, or both. Because you're putting it into practice. So,
well, I guess both. The experience. Since I didn't have any experience, I would get so nervous taking calls. I didn't want to even call back or talk to the people, but you just get used to it. You get more comfortable as you do a deal and you close, you go through the process, you still feel, you start feeling more comfortable to do it. So definitely consistency. I still get nervous here and there with, certain sellers or owners that ask you some random questions that you don't know what that means or how to answer them, but it's just a matter of just getting it done, So to me, it was like, I need to make this work because I have a lot to pay back, so I had to make it work. And so, now I still have that mentality that I need to make it work because I want to be able to just do this business and not have a full-time job or a part-time job, and be able to spend more time with my family and do more things, so I still want to, obviously that's my motivation. But yeah, definitely be consistent and just do it, try it out. The program, as I mentioned, I think it was great because it gives you all the information that you need to be able to start, and it teaches you how to do it, and then just take action, so I think it was good, and in that way, and I really appreciate the help that you guys provided.
Oh, great, thanks. And we appreciate the support too. So then, real quick then, if somebody's considering, doing this or not, because obviously it's an investment, we get that. You said it was substantially cheaper than others, and we've done that on purpose. But if somebody's weighing it out, whatever, what should I do? What would you tell them?
It's a personal decision. You have to make a decision. You want to make a difference in your way of your lifestyle within regards to working for somebody for so many years, getting paid about the same thing, the same amount, or trying this out and put all your effort and time, because it is time consuming at the beginning. I spend a lot more time trying to understand things and go over the process and the marketing and all this stuff, so it takes time, but it's worth it, so I think that if somebody wants to make that change, and be able to make this as a business, they should definitely try the program, but again, be ready, take action, and it'll work out. You'll learn little by little certain things on, maybe what areas to keep mailing or not mailing, but it's the matter of I don't know how to say it, but trial, you have to try it, and then you'll learn, and you'll you'll have questions as you go, and then you'll have that support from from you guys. They'll have that support from you guys to make things work.
All right, excellent. Lou, thanks so much again for your continued support. Thanks for joining us. Everybody, how about some thanks for Lupe for joining us? Congrats for her success. So again, we'll let you go now, but thank you so much for joining us here today.